John 13:21 to 38. So, Jesus predicts his betrayal, but it's interesting that when he predicted his betrayal, he said that he will be glorified. So, at first though, he became trouble in spirit. He said that one of his disciple will betray him. He gave it to people were saying like, who is it? And then it seems like John is pretty much the disciple who Jesus loved. He's like kind of leaning against Jesus' bosom, and that's kind of weird to me because when men are like that, it looks kind of weird to me. But so I have that picture in my head. So that was going on, and Peter was kind of like mentioning to John, ask him. And so John asked him, and then he told the disciple that he shall dip the piece of bread and give it to him. And so I don't know why it's not very clear to them that this is Judas. He just said it and then he did it. But I don't know why it wasn't, people were still confused, but they were. And so Judas left, and at that moment Satan entered him. So I think up to then, because he was around Jesus, and without Jesus' permission, Satan wasn't able to enter. Judas wasn't able to possess him, but now kind of like God takes away his hand of protection on Judas, so he's overcome. So I think that was a point of no return for Judas. And then so then after receiving the piece of bread, he left immediately, but people were thinking that he need to give something to the poor. So again, I don't understand that confusion, but I wasn't there. I couldn't see it. I don't know the culture very much. That part is still a mystery. So then Jesus talked about him being glorified, and that he is given a new commandment, that we love each other, and by this all people will know that we are Jesus' disciple, if we have love for one another. So we need to really remember and understand that we really need to love. And if it's not even if there is a theological disagreement, and even if it's foundational, we can agree to disagree. We can agree amicably. We can agree in a respectful way, and I think that's showing love. We don't have to agree with everything, and we don't have to make everyone agree with us, but we can do it in a loving manner. So then Simon Peter asks, Lord, where are you going? And he's saying, where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will later. Peter said that he wants to even lay down his life for Jesus, and Jesus told him that he will deny Jesus. Another thing is that it's interesting that Jesus is only about 30 something years old at this time, and people back then, and I guess even now, even to someone young as they're calling him rabbi, they're calling him Lord, and he accepts it and he is comfortable with it. And that shows us that he knows who he is, and that he knows that he's not kind of if it were me, even now, I'm 40 something and I'm not sure of myself. I don't want anyone to kind of depend on me for answers. I always find sources or resources that I can give people instead of using my own words as authority, or you know, like do it without searching things up. And so yeah, like it just shows me that Jesus is very different from me, and he knows that he's from the Father. He knows everything, and he speaks, like the Bible said, he speaks with authority, and he acts like one with authority. He acts like someone who's lived a long time. And I think the disciple sees that, and the disciple reacts and respond, and like their action shows that they believe that Jesus is Lord.